in and enjoy this opportunity.
And your mic, Sue.
Okay, well, we welcome you all to Building Community in a Changing Climate. We have a wonderful group of people here today, and I'm going to ask them to just introduce themselves to you very quickly. Lisa?
Hi, I'm Lisa Beavers. I'm from Central Florida in the Villages. It's a nice community. So,
And Tony?
I am Tony Green. I'm in Livermore, California, which
And
is in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay, thank you. Sabrina?
Sabrina Phillips from the beautiful city of Gainesville, Florida, home of the Fighting Gators.
And Tabby?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Tabby Gilbert. I am in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, which is near Hershey, PA.
And Victoria?
Hi, I'm Victoria Alvarez, and I live in Florida.
And Rebecca?
Hi, I'm Rebecca Alvarez, and I live in Florida.
And Adrian?
Hello, I'm Adrian Alvarez, and I live in Florida.
And Shannon?
I'm Shannon Crossbear, and I live in northern Minnesota, on the homelands of the Ojibwe peoples.
And we thank you all for being here. And I'm Sue Blythe, and I'm also in Gainesville, Florida, in Alachua County, where we are doing a pilot project for the Climate Collaboratory. And the Interfaith Climate Group invites people of all ages in Alachua County and our global network support to our collaborative storytelling adventure. Today, we're telling the story of one human family and one Earth community with a common destiny.
So we want to welcome you to the Wisdom Well, to the sages of the ages that represent the wisdom traditions of the human family. Throughout human history, prophets
and seers, she froze a little bit. Prophets and seers have told of a time of peace on the planet. Listen to their words of wisdom.
From the Judeo-Christian tradition in Isaiah, until the Spirit be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness become a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a forest. Then justice shall swell in the wilderness, and righteousness shall abide in the fruitful field. And the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effective of righteousness, quietness, and confidence forever.
so from the Baha'i writings, so let us try as an experiment peace. And if the results of peace are bad, then we can choose if it would be better to go back to the old state of war. Let us, in any case, make the experiment. If we see that unity brings light, we shall continue it. For 6,000 years, we have been walking on the left-hand path. Let us walk on the right-hand path now. We have passed many centuries in darkness. Let us advance towards the light.
from Black Elk of the Lakota peoples. There can never be peace between nations until we know the true peace which is in the souls of men. This comes when men realize their oneness with the universe and all its powers, and the Great Spirit is at its center, that all things are
all things are his works, and that this center is really everywhere. It is within each of us.
From the Earth Charter, recognize that peace is the wholeness created by right relationships with oneself, other persons, other life, Earth, and the larger whole of which all are a part.
Ah, We'll take these words of wisdom with us as we walk day by day into the unknown future. The whole human family is on the road to 2030, 2050, and beyond. We meet the most interesting people along the way. Look, who's that on the main stage in the Garden of Peace?
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the World House Game Show, where our goal will be to make a world work for all living things. That's 100% of humanity and the community of life on Earth, our home. Our first World House game is the Global Goals Treasure Hunt. We want people to find people who are living the Sustainable Development Goals of the United States. Okay, places, people, and action.
I'm not able to share my screen. I hope Callum is still there. Maybe we'll just read it.
You are a co-host, so you should be able to share your screen.
I'm not seeing it on the,
1 second.
oh, I'm sorry. There we go. So sorry, folks. Okay. Hey, kids, what time is it?
It's time to play the Global Goals Treasure Hunt.
It's time to build Martin Luther King's World House, where we can learn to live together. We have lots of songs in our musical menu.
Like this one.
It's burning inside, the hurting and the suffering. Minds creating anger, fear, and pain, suffocating our times. The tougher it gets, the rougher social media cries. But we see to it that we tweeting only negative lines. We're sick and tired of history, but repeating it twice. Greed, anger, and violence clearly stealing our nights. Feeling it tight between the shoulders with a chill in the spine. Pinching myself, waking up, trying to stop the rewind and move forward towards stories, overcoming our fears. Choosing love over hate, praying, trading hugs over tears. There's only one choice, breaking down the walls and repair every broken heart on this planet till there's no longer fear. Walls can't hold us in. Fear can't keep us down. Love will rise again. Yeah, it's rising right now. We shall overcome. Every time I think it's gonna take much longer, we shall overcome. Every time I question, am I getting stronger? We have just begun. Gonna make a change, we gotta push much farther. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Whoa. We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
Who will help us find more songs and books and movies and games so kids like us can learn to live together in a more peaceful world?
Our friends in Alachua County, Florida will help. The United Nations Association has a blueprint for a better future. It looks like this: 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
And we'll use all those global goals to build the World House, envisioned by Martin Luther King Jr. back in 1964. Our friends at the Martin Luther King Commission will help.
We'll ask people to tell their stories and share their gifts for life on Earth. Things like their favorite books and movies, and things that have helped them to learn to make a more peaceful world.
Then we can invite people everywhere to build the World House,
where we can learn to live together in peace.
All righty. Calling all youth, young adults, adult and elders, it's time to share your gifts for life on Earth.
we need people, places, and things for each of the global goals that we can find in the Global Goals Treasure Hunt.
People, places and things. Oh my, won't that be interesting? Rebecca? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes. In the next few weeks, we'll collect stories of people living in the global goals: peace, people, prosperity, partnership, and planet.
In places like schools, youth groups, organizations, businesses, and places of worship.
And things like songs, books, movies, quotations, and more.
And why do we need all these people, places, and things?
So kids like us can choose which ones they want to use in our Zoom theater production of Climate Collaborative, the musical.
A musical? What fun! Let's sing and dance our way to peace.
We're looking for groups who want to sing and dance song for the musical menu. One group is making their own version of the video we saw earlier. We shall overcome, love will rise again.
Submit your video by February 28th. Selected videos will be featured in the Climate Collaborator, the musical, to be produced in our Zoom theater during Earth Month.
Our musical play begins in the International Climate Collaboratory, 200 miles in space, circling the human race.
Life on Earth is in trouble, so our heroes travel on the web of love through time and space to March 20, 2022.
The Spring Garden Festival, a joyful celebration of life on the first day of spring.
Our heroes set up the Climate Collaboratory booth, and they sign people up to play the Global Goals treasure hunt.
On the road to 2030, 2050, and beyond, we'll show how real people and fictional characters help to make a world that works for all.
That's 100% of humanity and the community of life on Earth, our home.
During the month of March and April, we'll play the Global Goals treasure hunt. Secret agents of compassion will search through their homes, schools, and communities to find people of all ages who are living the global goals right here in our community.
So this week, we're looking for people who are living peace.
How will we know them?
Well, some sing songs of peace in their choir. Some use peace tables at school. Some practice conflict resolution, and others learn peaceful communication. Some pray or meditate. Some have book clubs and movie nights to share peaceful ways of caring for people, other living things, and the earth, our home.
At the Spring Garden Festival, people of all ages will help to fill the World House tool shed with the tools and resources that they use for peacemaking and peace building.
So let's practice right now. We'll begin stocking the World House tool shed with treasures just waiting for our secret agents of compassion to find when we play the Global Goals treasure hunt during March and April.
I'll put some clues in the chat, and I'll wait 10 or 15 seconds while you type in your response. And I'm going to have trouble with this, but let me get everybody going here. All right, you ready? We'll try this one as an example. Name a song of peace. I'm just going to say them. I'm not going to type them in, but I would like you to type in the chat a song of peace that you can think of, and then hit enter. And Shannon, we're going to ask you to watch for the responses. And
I will, and if somebody else will assist in looking at the chat box, because I'm coming in and out with my internet.
yes. So who would like to do that? Sabrina, would you be our backup?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got some peace songs going though. We've got Imagine and Let There Be Peace on Earth and Let Peace Begin with Me and Victoria has seeds. So, oh,
Cool.
and Color of the Wind. That's another good
Oh,
one.
nice. Good. So let's go on. Name a book that shows what peace looks like.
Go ahead and put them in the chat box and we'll see what's there. Think about a book that makes you think of peace. We Are the World. That's a good one. Any others? So many books, right?
No,
Go ahead, Sue. Do you have
oh,
one
I
that
was
you
just
think of?
thinking, what about all the holy books that have been through the years? They've been teaching peace for centuries.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was thinking about a book I was reading today that's actually poetry, but it's To Bless the Space Between Us by John O'Donohue. Just that always to me speaks the peace statement. Yes, Lisa. The Alchemist. I'll write the Bible. Yeah, all good peace.
Yes, definitely.
Peace books. Great.
Okay, let's go to movies. Name a movie that shows peacemaking in action.
Oh, let's see.
Glimpses.
Can't think.
I thought about Mandela. That was a great movie to talk about peace, right?
Yes.
How to arrive at peace, not just for the country, but for himself. Just an amazing movie. There's all kinds of movies out there. Peacemaking and bringing peace and living peacefully.
We'll have to get some help to find some more of these. How about a game that helps people play with peace?
I don't know. I'm always trying to make peace when I'm playing cribbage with my grandson, but somehow there's a little competition that gets involved there. The Earth Charter Board game, great one, Victoria. That's a good one. And so Adrian too said the Earth Charter Board game, right?
Awesome. I know there's a world peace game that's played with, I think, fourth graders. I would love to see that in our tool shed.
Yeah. I like this next one that I know you're going to ask about in terms of a peaceful place in your community. Isn't that a great one to ask people? Where's a peaceful place in your community? Where do you go and you think, oh, there's peace here? Botanical gardens.
Ooh.
And going back to the game, Lisa added virtue cards. Yes, that's another one. Oh, the peace gardens, right? Okay, the park.
LVC Peace Gardens, the park.
You know what I find a little interesting? That all of these places for peace are in an outdoor environment or a living planet environment, right? Or except Victoria, she says her room. That's pretty
A peaceful
find
place.
peace there. That's great. You create and yoga class. Right, sitting beside the lake. Adrian, I'm with you. I got that water going on.
Which lake do you live near, Shannon?
Lake Superior, the largest freshwater lake on the continent. And one of the cleanest of the great water lakes. Let's keep it as clean as possible. Victoria goes for a walk. That's another thing that brings her peace. Saying prayers in whatever space, right?
Nice.
Creating peace, peaceful around you, right?
How about organizations or businesses that promote peace? especially if they're local in your own community.
A church.
Pop it in there.
Farming, We the World, the Earth Charter,
Beautiful.
the Peace Chair.
Ah,
Okay.
name someone you know who has peace in their heart.
Oh, wow.
I'm back.
Ah, look, the River Phoenix Center for Peace Building. There was
Yeah.
a pastor. Oh, sweet. Thank you, Victoria. Sue Blythe, Shannon Crosby, and many more people. I would say everyone on this call, right? Wouldn't you?
Thanks, Victoria. Thanks.
Oh, beautiful. So Sabrina, did you have something to put in? We need you to hit enter.
I put in Dr. Marie Herring. That's my pastor.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And let's see, name someone you know who builds peace in our community or yours.
Oh, okay. Let's
I
see.
put Gandhi.
Gandhi is a good one too.
Yeah, I have quite a few peace builders in my community, so it'd be kind of, hard to choose one. We have peace builders. We have quite a few peace builders, but it's
Well-
nice to think about them,
How about name quite a few peace builders in your community?
Okay, all right, thanks.
Okay. let's
What we're
see.
doing is trying to set things up so that when the kids are ready to play this treasure hunt, they'll have some clues about where to look. Okay. And then, what is one thing that you do to make peace in the world? Tribal council for Shannon. Seed ideas, yes. And Tony, you can skip that next paragraph, okay?
Okay.
'Cause I neglected to prepare the form that we were going to give out for this. But I'll tell you what, if you would like to get let me give you my email address if you would like to get the form so that you can submit your own ideas, answers to these same questions, and maybe ask others that you would like to play this with us. And I'll send that to you. So my email is Sue Blythe, SUEBLYTHE @we.net.
So Sue, I just have to share that we have lots of ways that people are making a peaceful world. Yeah,
Oh.
giving compliments, telling friends not to kill animals, be present for others and hold judgment slightly, staying positive, thinking happy thoughts. Great ways of creating peace in the world, right?
Cool. So I'm trying to get rid of my. Sorry.
I'm typing with one finger.
Okay.
That's a few. So
Okay. So we've got some directions that we'd like to send you to play the Global Goals Treasure Hunt during February as practice for the real deal that will play in March and April.
So the sages of the ages want to thank you for being part of the story and of how this human family of ours came together to create peace in their own homes and their schools and communities.
And cut. Good rehearsal, everyone.
Yay, let's ask our audience, how did we do? Anybody have questions or comments or suggestions? And if we're looking on Facebook, Tony, can you see, did you get that? Is anybody watching on Facebook?
We have one viewer on Facebook. and
Okay.
No comments.
No comments. Okay. Well, that's good. And we do have a guest who should be coming in for a few minutes, but let's just talk for a few among ourselves about how that went. What did you think?
I think it
Any-
was really cool, and we got new ideas about what we can do to like stay positive and stuff like that and help the world.
Good. Do you think this would be helpful for other kids?
Yes.
Great. Any other thoughts?
I kind of like the exercises. I like playing the game. That made me stop and think, like, just even the questions about what movies did you watch that really support or make you think of peace, or are teaching you about peace, and the fact that we have to stop and think. So that I think is part of how we encourage and support each other to shift in the way that we see the world, right? Being more where peace is discussed, where peace is being activated in so many ways. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you think that this will go over with other adult groups? Would people want to help us fill a tool shed for the treasure hunt? How about in the villages, Lisa? What do you think?
Had to unmute there. It is interesting because I'm talking to people now about wanting to take part in this. Every human should want to take part in this and have a piece to contribute. And by the way, The Antidote is a wonderful film. It shows many examples of peace. See, it took a little while for the seniors here, but
Yeah.
I am so impressed with what the youth have done in this. I'm just so impressed with your presentations, and I think you are our future. So you keep it up because you look great up there, and you're doing such a good job.
This is a wonderful family. I was so privileged to have them come and visit me over the Christmas break, and they came with their mom and dad, and we spent the day together. It was just really lovely. Thank you guys for being part of this adventure. Maybe you could tell a little bit about, you remember when we went to the, well, we did two things that day, didn't we? We went first to the Kanapaha Botanical Gardens. You want to tell a little bit about what that was like?
Sure. Do you guys want to go first?
Like you're first, Victoria, go for it.
Oh, okay. So I really like seeing the koi fish, and also the bamboo garden was super big and it looked really cool. I haven't seen bamboo so big before. We have a tiny plant of bamboo, but like it's not too big. Also, seeing all the flowers was really fun, and getting you to meet all the a lot of the gnomes.
Yeah, tell about the gnomes.
So in the past, like 2.5 years, we, Adrian, Rebecca, and I were making gnomes with polymer clay, and we made every gnome with a special trait, like a gnome with a baby waddle was baby gnome, maybe a gnome with a shovel was garden gnome, one holding a plant was plant gnome, and we had a lot of fun with it. And we brought as much as we could find to take to the botanical gardens to take pictures and make a video of why we chose this gnome to represent this part of the botanical garden.
Callum, are you still there?
Yep.
Okay, we have somebody who just said they're at the waiting room and are waiting to get in. I don't see them on the.
Whose name am I looking for? There's a couple
Eric
people.
Essling. Here, I've got him.
Yep.
Allowed to talk. Allow. I want to
I'll
bring
promote him to panelist.
Promote to panelist. Here we go.
Yep.
Oh, look, we've got all kinds of people in the waiting room. Here's my friend. Look at this.
Hello.
Here comes Eric
I've
Essling.
been promoted to a panelist. I feel
Yes,
so
you
official.
have. I'm sorry
Wow.
to keep you waiting. Yes, we were busy, and but here we are. Eric has come from a very special place in our neighborhood. And why don't you tell who you are, where you're from, and what brings you to our gardens of global unity, where all things are possible.
Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me to the garden. I feel so honored to be here with you all. My name is Eric Essling, and I work here in Gainesville, Florida, at an organization called the River Phoenix Center for Peacebuilding. And we're a community-based peacebuilding center, working with community members and organizations and schools and government agencies and all kinds of different people in our community and beyond to try to find more peaceful ways of getting along with each other. So I know you guys are talking about peace today, and I'm here to kind of talk about peace a little bit and hear your thoughts about peace as well, because I'm really interested to see what you all are interested in and what you're trying to accomplish.
So who would like to answer him? Anybody of any age. And Callum, I'm still having trouble getting Helen Warren and Kimberly Gila in. I say promote to panelist and nothing happens.
Yep, they might not be accepting the request, but I tried again. It might just be wanting to watch as an attendee.
Yeah. So what can you tell us, Eric, about some specific programs that you have going on there?
Well, basically at RPCP, we believe that people generally want to get along, right? When people fight, when people resort to violence, it's often because they don't have a better option that they're aware of. They think that that's the best way that they can get their needs met. And unfortunately, yeah, that's an unfortunate thing when that happens, right? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach strategies and tools and new ways of understanding conflict and new ways of relating to other people, especially people that we disagree with, right? Because that's when conflict happens the most, right? So that means we're working with families, we're working with students, we're working with teachers, and we're using 4 main things: dialogue, restorative justice, social emotional learning, and trauma-informed response. And those 4 things, they're all big things. They all have a lot to do with different kinds of ways of looking at conflicts, but those 4 things inform what we do. So that might look like any day of the week, maybe like, I'm sure you all on this call never have any issues with your teachers, but sometimes students and teachers don't get along, right? And so maybe we'll go into a school and we'll have a dialogue where students get to share their experience with their teachers, teachers get to share their experience with the students, and they get a better understanding of each other, right? A better way of understanding their differences and understanding their experience. That's just one example, but it might look like when a harm occurs, right? When someone does something that is hurtful, right? Or maybe even violent, right? How can we bring people together, the person that caused that harm and the person that was impacted by that harm, to have a conversation about what happened and how to make things better, how to make things as repaired as possible, and then how to prevent it from happening again. So things like that, those are the kinds of programs that we do at RPCP. And so I just think it's so great that you all are interested in peace and peace work. You know, I don't know exactly how old you all are, but you know, there is no age limit on peace work. I was about your age of probably a couple of you when I really started getting interested in peace building and peace work. And it's really set a trajectory for my life and the things I've studied and the things that I've done professionally. And I'm really, really just honored to be able to share that with you all.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Eric. And we have, yeah, Shannon is involved in some of the same things you are, Eric. And maybe you could talk about that, Shannon.
Oh, sure. So Erica, I thank you for being here and thank you for the work that you're doing in the world. We, you know, this whole conversation around, you know, trauma-informed communications, dealing with kind of all of that that's bubbling up. And what a great opportunity we have, because right now we're all feeling it in all the different ways. We're all feeling it, whether it was, you know, for those of us that have maybe been feeling it from one vantage point as, you know, people in this country and that have been marginalized in the past.
Shannon's in the frozen north and she just froze. Said it's 0 degrees where she lives. But yeah, so I know that she's been involved in the same kind of work. And me too. I went into teaching conflict resolution at the elementary school level. And that was kind of my beginning into the peace education field. And we were talking when the kids were visiting me, we went to, it's called the Veterans Memorial Park, and they have monuments for each of the wars through the history of the United States. And what we noticed is, one of you, Adrian or Rebecca, would you like to tell about that experience?
Yes, that park was actually, it was very moving when you went there. It helped you realize a lot of things. And one of the main positive things that we realized is that ever since, I'm pretty sure it was World War II, the death toll went down and it never seemed to go back up. It just kept going down. So that was something that was really reassuring, because it's meaning that peace is finally being achieved and we're actually making change. So it's really exciting to see that. And it also shows, it really shows everything that has happened and how and why we need to improve it so it doesn't happen again.
Beautiful. Rebecca, did you have any other observations about that?
Yeah. So I like how they like put it in a descriptive way, because like when you think about it, you can't really imagine it, but like when you see it in person and you get like a description of it, it's like, wow, like we need more peace in this world.
Exactly. And what struck me, I took them on a walk through this history that starts at the Revolutionary War and has a monument for each of the wars related, you know, size related to the number of deaths, and probably American deaths. I told them it was Alachua County. I'm sure it was American. And so we went all the way through and came, like they were saying that we got to World War II and the bricks went sky high. There were so many people killed in World War II. And then something happened that made it come way, way, way down, like Adrian was talking about. And I realized, oh, that's where the United Nations was founded, right at the end of World War II. And we went back to the beginning and talked about the peace process. So that after the Revolutionary War, we came up with a constitution that's been a model for people all over the world all these years. And then we came to World War I. And at the end of that terrible war, that was the first one where they used airplanes and just learned all kinds of wonderful ways to kill people. At the end of that, the nations of the world came together to form the League of Nations. And that didn't quite do the trick because not too many years later, World War II broke out. But at the end of that was the United Nations. And then we've come through some much smaller wars, and they seem to be causing fewer and fewer deaths. And what I noticed was that the Cold War was not listed at all. And that was a big one for me growing up, that we were always afraid that, these nuclear weapons, if the US and Russia pointed at each other, could just change everything for all life on Earth. But we ended that one without any warfare in the usual sense. And so it is possible that we could have peace. And as we're going down this timeline, the kids notice, oh, look, there's the year 2030. Oh, look, there's the year 2050. And we haven't told that story yet, but why don't you guys tell the story we'd like to see happen?
We would like to see that by those years, because what we'd like to see by those years, that all of our accomplishments, everything that we want to accomplish by reducing climate change, achieving peace, all of that slowly becomes getting achieved until the year 2050, until we can finally learn to live with each other, not just humans with humans, but humans with nature, humans with earth, humans with everyone. So that's what we want to achieve by those dates.
Beautiful. And I like to think that the 100th anniversary of the United Nations will be in 2045. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we could just say no more war? We'll just put an end to war as a way of solving differences. We can talk it out. And Eric and the kids can help us learn how to do that. And if we can engage lots of people in our treasure hunt, what do you think, Tony? Could we make a difference in the world?
Oh, absolutely.
I think so too, most definitely.
Yeah. So let's do it. We're all on that same road to 2030, 2050 and beyond. And I figure we each have a story to tell. And we as a human family are going to tell a wonderful story that will be told for many generations to come. Okay? Let's do it.
All righty. On that note, I guess tune in again next week when we wake up the people and invite more people to join us on the road to 2030, to 2050 and beyond.
All right.
Thank you all. Ed cut.